my channel. I am Aldridge and I am going to be giving you an update of my author update for January. I know it's a little bit late, but as you're going to discover in this update, that a lot did happen in January and that had an impact in me recording this video. So I'm going to start off with January began really positive. So like most people, I started the year, I thought about what do I want to achieve in 2023. So I put together some goals and I started working on them. And one of the goals I was really keen to make a start with was for my book cover for Sky Heart. So I've been working on Sky Heart for a long time, feels like forever now. And I do have a mock cover that I created to be able to talk about my book on social media. I'll share a picture of it over here. But this mock cover is soon to be redundant because I have been in conversations with my cover designer and we have started work on a new cover. So the process with her is that I message her, I book her in, and then she sends me this survey. And the survey is 8 pages long and it asks me lots and lots of questions about my novel. And sometimes it makes me think like if I even know the answers to some of the questions, because it really does deep dive into everything. So she wants to know all about the character, which is a given. Sometimes there is questions like, are there secondary characters? No secondary characters in mine. Is there a love interest? She wants to know if it's fantasy, what powers are in it, where it's set, different locations within the story. She wants to know, oh, what else? She wants to know everything basically. If there's any special outfits, any certain weapons in the story. Yeah, and any ideas that you have yourself for the cover. So other covers you've seen that you really like, other covers you'd like her to draw inspiration from. So I did send some covers that I'd seen online that I thought I do like this idea and it's kind of on the same theme of the things going on in my book. Oh, and colours that you think would be a good idea for your book. So you give her all these ideas and then somehow she puts it together and brings your story to life in a one still shot photo, like book cover. So one of the things that I really wanted it to match or just to go with is Ocean Heart, which is book 1 in the series. So it's book 1, Ocean Heart, and it's the same cover designer. So that's why one of the reasons why I obviously really wanted her, because I love this book cover, and so I know that she knows the style I'm looking for and she can create that style. So I just wanted something else for book 2. Book 2 has a different character. So Ocean Heart is about Mariah. She's about to discover that she is a mermaid, and in book 2 it's about Keely. So if you read book 1 you may recognize the name Keely. She is the nemesis in book 1, but in book 2 it is her story. So we get to hear her side of like the thing of like, yeah, what happens to her with her breakup and everything. And I think it's been a lot of fun to write. There's also been a lot of different powers within her story, which has also been really fun to write. And so I sent off the information. So January was get that brief written, and I signed the contract. We got to the point where we had a contract. I said, yes, I want you to do the book. She was ready to start on the Monday. So it was the last Monday of January. I signed the contract. Everything, yep, I'm going to pay you. Everything's brilliant. She's going to start the work on Monday. So she's like, as long as you pay me by then, I will start on Monday. So I'm like really excited because getting your book cover is always a really good thing. And then this brings me on to what went completely peak-tong in January. But it happened at the end, so it's more impacted February's goals. But at the end of January, it was the last Wednesday in January, so 2 days after I'd signed my contract with my cover designer, I went to work and I got told the unfortunate news that I was going to be made redundant. So my job was at risk. So the process in the UK is that then they have to look into all the different options. They also make you aware in case there's like, you have some ideas of how we could save the job. But we'd already been on a recruitment ban, so I knew there wasn't many options already out there. It would have to have been like some massive donation to the charity or somebody leaving and I would be a suitable person to take on that vacant role. They were the only real options. So I kind of had accepted the fact that I was going to be going through the process and the end result was going to be my job was coming to an end, which was really heartbreaking because I worked for Suffolk Mind, which is a mental health charity, and I never worked for an employer that was so nice. Like, I know that sounds crazy to say when you're being made redundant, but my team were brilliant. They were like, it was my first HR role, and they were like really encouraging and supporting, and they gave me opportunities to learn all the time. My manager like lived and breathed the emotional needs model, which forms the basis of the culture at Suffolk Mind. You can do a free course called The Essentials. If you want to learn more about it, it's free. I recommend everyone should be doing it. Just go to their website and find it out. But I'll probably put a link actually in my thing so you make it easier for people to find, because I do think everyone should do the course. But it basically meant that my manager's always checking, like, am I happy? Are my needs being met? Like, and it covers all sorts of needs, like your needs to be challenged at work, your needs to feel part of a community. So there's all these different needs. We explore them, and it's really good, and it really helped. It was just an amazing place to work. But obviously losing my job, one of the needs that was not being met was my need for control, because this was out of my control. I had no control over losing my job. And I also felt like this shook me up as well about the whole, do I carry on with my cover design? Because I've signed the contract, I said that I'm going to do it. And now I'm in this uncertainty with my income and my money. But I spoke with my husband, and he was like, no, you saved up that money for your cover. And I didn't want to mess around a small business. I know how hard it is. Like, she booked out that time to do my cover. I didn't want to let her down because she is amazing. Even though I'm pretty sure she probably would have been really understanding. So I was like, no, I am going to do my cover. So I've done my cover. It gives me something to look forward to, which has been an absolute highlight in February. So I will cover that in my February update. So that's been a lot of fun, but the redundancy part has had an impact. It is why I didn't make this video sooner, because I should have at the end of January done a video talking about my progress in January and the things that I'd achieved. And I just didn't really want to even look at myself in the camera because I was feeling a bit low. And I think it's important to take care of your emotional needs. So if you need time to just rebuild yourself, then that's what you need to do. So I was like, it was a roller coaster. Sometimes I felt excited even that maybe something new will come out of this, like, you know, one door closes, another one open, which is one of the quotes one of the colleagues who also got made redundant at the same time as me said to me, and that really did resonate and filled me with hope. And at the same time there was this feeling of sadness, like going mourning, because I really loved that job. It was so good. But it's not the end of the world. There will be more jobs, I'm sure of it, and hopefully at the end of February maybe I'll have some update on that, but I'm not going to hold my breath because job hunting is hard, but we'll see what happens. So that is the Sky Heart cover, but that's not all for Sky Heart. So with Sky Heart, you may have seen the update on Instagram. So this is my manuscript, all these pages. So I started January reading through all the feedback from my developmental editor. I didn't do it over Christmas. I actually did take a break at Christmas to relax, and also the kids were really distracting, so I wouldn't have got anything done anyway. Gracie, it's my cat. I have two cats, but Gracie's always the one that wants to jump in on my videos. Cheeky Gracie. Okay. So where was I? See, she's distracting me. She's naughty. When the kids aren't here, I've got the cat distracting me. So yes, that was it. Editing Sky Heart. So I decided that the best thing to do was to read all her feedback so that I could appreciate what she was telling me, because it's developmental feedback. It can include changes like to multiple chapters. There could be a big like plot hole that she'll tell me you need to fix this. She's really good, my developmental editor. So I thought I'd read through it, and that also gave me an opportunity because I hadn't read through my manuscript for a while. So I read it with fresh eyes, and I picked up things that I wasn't happy with, things that I want to change or improve on. So I worked on that, wrote down my notes, like, you know, work on this section here, or can we add this in here, or take this out. So I did my own developmental editing feedback in there along with my editor's feedback, and then I'm going to type it all up into my laptop to update the manuscript. So the typing part is going to be part of my February update, but January I managed to read through all this, and it's not just reading it, because you've got to take in the information, and I'm writing down comments, I'm thinking about things and changing things up. So it's not a basic just read through, it's like a really focused read through. So that happened. And then that's really it for January. January went really, really quick. I still had things going on at home with the leak. So I was trying to get guys, like local workmen, to come around to do quotes. So we have a leak that started in, it was probably back in October. That's how long this leak has been going on. So the leak started in the kitchen, and then it seeped under the wall and up into my dining room. So it destroyed the floor in the dining room. It caused damp to go up the walls. So I had to get a quote for someone to replace the cupboard in the kitchen where the leak originally started, a quote for the floor to be replaced that's been destroyed, and a quote for a painter to do the walls. And during December, no one wanted to come out because it was Christmas holidays. They're also really, really busy and booked up. So January was when I also made progress on getting my quotes for all of that. There was lots of trouble trying to get a painter. It seems there is a real shortage. So if you would like to start a career as a painter decorator, not me, I would make a mess of people's homes. There seems to be a real big demand for that, because it took me 3 different painters to finally get one that was able to actually have time to come out to just do a quote. So that's a bit crazy, but that was how that went. Anything else that happened in January that's notable? No, I think mostly I have got a lot, because it's almost the end of February that I'm recording this. I know I'm going to do my February update soon, so I can give you some teasers of some of the things that are coming up. So there was something exciting that happened with Ocean Heart in a bookshop. I will be talking about that. There was something exciting that's happening with the cover, which I'm looking forward to sharing with you. There was some fun stuff that happened on Twitter with a famous author I'm hoping to share with you. And unfortunately, I have seemed to have been targeted recently by scammers, and I was going to share one of those with you. And that also led into, on my Ko-fi page, I posted an update about it on my Ko-fi page, and another author by the name, I think it's Ari or Ari, messaged me. She's really lovely, she's really supportive, and she makes me feel like my posts aren't just going into this massive void of not existing. And she invited me to write a post about this scam for her blog. She also does a podcast, so I need to listen to her podcast and see if that's something that I would be comfortable doing, and then see if she'd be interested in having me. So yeah, there's some exciting things going on. I also had an article published in Felixstowe Magazine. It was the one about my book review of I think it was the Killers Club. It might be the Sea Woman, because it's now the end of February. I'm trying to think which one it is, but I'll put the quote in the description so you can check out the articles in Felixstowe Magazine that I did in January. And that, I think, is it for January. So I hope that you have enjoyed this. I hope you're going to click the like, I hope you're going to click the subscribe, and I hope that you are going to check back for my February update, because it is going to be full of some cool stuff. Thank you.